I worry that by the time climate change is really top of mind for people, it'll be too late.
I can't see the future really if it goes on like this.
I kind of have an unpopular opinion.
We are in Zurich, Switzerland, where the glaciers are melting, and despite it being September, the temperatures are still over 30 degrees. That's why we are asking people on the streets, are you worried about climate change? So my first question is, are you worried about climate change?
Yes, I am worried about climate change because I think the humans are not working with the resources right, and it's going down.
We're from the US in Boston, and it was such a different type of summer. It was very, very wet, rained quite a bit in July, and then August has been extremely hot. You can feel and experience the difference in the climate.
You can see definitely in the mountains when you go there that it's already like less snow in the mountains, and it gets very warm.
Kind of, because changing weather, more storms, earthquakes, everything could be a little bit dangerous, could influence especially coastal states. Coastal states could get flooded because of like melting ice.
And also just in Europe, let's say the coastal cities or coastal parts of the countries, if they get flooded, there will be a huge rush to the higher parts, for example Switzerland.
I've definitely noticed the summer's being hotter, and some of the things you read in the news now are worrying around the world. I think it's probably one of the most worrying things there is at the moment, for sure. Yeah.
And does climate change already affect your daily life?
Yes, it does, because we have our own organization where we fight against climate change as well in Ghana with our organization Up Development. So yeah, it's a daily business for me.
Yeah, the place where we live, there are lots of wildfires, and the number of wildfires have increased. The weather patterns are changing. There is smoke in the air, so breathing is a little bit more difficult.
Not so much in Scotland because it's very cold anyway, but certainly I've noticed the summers are warmer, and certainly travelling into Europe I can tell that it's a lot hotter now than it used to be. It does have an impact on your life. Yeah.
As Swiss, we are a little bit more protected from climate change. Like you see, the summers are warmer, like we have more rain, but we don't really see the effects like you see in other states like the Maldives or something. But I guess it will also come to here.
Do you have an idea what we should do? What should be the next steps to stop climate change?
I think that there's going to have to be restrictions imposed or things, are going to have to be driven by the government. I don't know how, how else the majority of people would really truly understand what's happening and the result of our daily actions, how it's affecting the environment. It's going to piss people off, but I think it's the only way that it's really going to start make a difference.
Maybe use less food bags when you go shopping. Use more like cotton bags instead of the plastic bags.
I think we should change the way of thinking and how enterprises work. We should go over to like social entrepreneurship and think about circular economic.
Obviously, investment in green energy sources is important. So I think we are doing that, but I feel some of the targets that have been set by governments are maybe not enough.
We are vegetarians. We don't know much about the meat culture, but I know the process of making meat, which in a recent documentary said that uses up a lot of energy. So if more vegetarianism can be followed, that can also be another way of looking at it.
Is there something you already do to reduce your ecological footprint?
I think it's one of these things where I think a little bit, if every person does a little bit, it does help. So trying not to leave lights on, in general, trying to recycle as much as possible and just be conscious of how much energy you use.
I don't have a car. I try to eat not a lot of meat. I'm here at the lake to go fishing, to eat sustainable food and sustainable fish. I also try to reduce my flying and traveling as much as I can and do it as green as I can. And especially for all the holidays, I'm not flying always somewhere. I also try to enjoy Switzerland because we have a really beautiful country here as well.
I kind of have an unpopular opinion about this. If you have some celebrities, that fly private just to have lunch, if you have companies that produce I don't know how many tons of CO2. I feel like us using paper straws or paper cups, or maybe driving less, or not flying anymore by taking the train, of course it helps, but it's like it's crumbs. If you really wanted to change something, you need to do it in a political way. That's my opinion.
And now we want to know from you, are you worried about climate change? Let us know your experiences in the comments below.